Hi guys, it's Jody. Welcome to Man vs. Diet. This is episode number 12 of my weight loss vlog. I was thinking this last week of a time when a coworker came up to me. She worked at a different office and she looked at me and she said, "Jody, I never know what size you're gonna be when I see you." And it's always different. One year I weighed 350 pounds like this year. The next year I weighed 275. The next year I weighed 300. The next year's 225. And on and on. Every year I'm just going in and out and up and down on the scale. And I kind of thought about that this past week. A week ago I did a Father's Day video tribute. By the way, I hope you went and saw that. It was really special to me. If you did, thank you very much. If you didn't, I'll leave a link somewhere. While I was searching for photos to use in that video that I made of me and my dad and the memories, I went over to my mom's house and we grabbed this big bucket, and it had a bunch of old photos from his custodian days at a junior high. And every year they took the picture, the mug shot. And I noticed that every year my dad was kind of like I am. One year he was a little bit bigger, the next year he's a little bit thinner, the next year he's a little bit bigger. There was just never that consistency. And another interesting thing, one time my mom told me that my dad worked really hard and lost a bunch of weight, and he got down to weighing about 199, but he didn't stay there very long. Well, yours truly in 2009 worked really hard, and I got down to 199, even 198-ish, and I didn't stay there for very long. So those are a couple parallels between my dad and myself. Let me give you a little bit of background on my dad. As the video talked about, he's passed away. He's died at the age of 57 in the year 2003. So I miss him dearly. It's been a long time. I was just thinking about that. Gosh, he would only be 68 now. 68, 69. It'd almost be 69. And how many memories and fun times and sporting events and life events that he missed. You know, he didn't get to see any of my kids be born. And so I have 4 children. And that kind of bums me out a lot to think that my dad never got the chance to see me become a dad. And he passed away from side effects of diabetes. He, in his later years, gained a lot of weight, and I don't know, he's probably pushing 400. It was just hard to see his body shut down like it did. His kidneys were failing, his heart was struggling, he'd get sores on his legs, and because of the diabetes, they wouldn't heal very quickly. I remember one time, a couple of weeks before he passed away, I was at his house, and he was sitting in his recliner, which he always did. He was probably in his blue robe, which he always wore in that recliner. But he looked across the front room at me and said, "Jody, don't let this happen to you." And I've always remembered that. And I've used it as motivation at times. And then there were other times where... Sorry, the sun was kind of driving me nuts coming through the blinds there. But there were times where I tried to use that as motivation to lose weight and to get healthier. And then, as it turns out, sometimes you just kind of forget that. And food tastes better than good advice does, if that makes sense. And so, but I kind of thought about the parallels of my dad and myself, and how I'm kind of walking along that same path that he did. I mean, I'm 44 now, and he passed away at 57. 13 years ago wasn't that long ago, and another 13 years is going to pass by quickly. And like my dad advised me, I don't want that to happen to me again. Interestingly enough, I started seeing a therapist. Last year, I went for the first time, and I was explaining the situation with my dad, and I felt like I was getting this heartfelt, opening up this heartfelt sentiment about how I didn't want to follow in the footsteps of my dad. And the therapist surprised me, and he looked at me and he says, "Really? Don't you? Because you're sure not acting like it." And at first I was kind of taken aback. I'm like, "Hey, wait a sec. I just said something. You should believe me." But the more I thought about it, the more I've turned away the advice that my dad gave me. And instead of don't let this happen to you. I'm kind of heading right down that same road, and it's scary. And I think that's what I was thinking about when I saw those pictures of my dad. Obviously the love and the good memories and kind of the heartbreak for not being able to see him now. But also it was just kind of a scary thought that, gosh, I'm walking in his footsteps. And usually that's a good thing, but health-wise it's not a good thing, because I want to live a lot longer than 57. I mean, and lately, the last few years, I haven't acted like it, you know, just gaining so much weight. I got up to 351 pounds a few months ago, and that's after, like I said, I was under 200 pounds just 6 years ago, and I did an Ironman triathlon 4 years ago, so I was obviously in good enough shape, even though I was still obese at the time. I was still in good enough shape to be mobile and active, and I was riding my bike and swimming and running, well, waddling, jogging, walking. But then I just kind of let it all slide and just turned to food instead of turning to the good advice that my dad gave me, and even, you know, turning to my friends who were there for me. And even I was in my time of need, I was kind of turning away from God instead of turning to him, and etc., etc. I just was blazing down the wrong path. And so thank goodness I've turned things around. I'm excited that I'm feeling so much better now, but I just thought that was a little bit of a reminder that I need to keep going down this path. I need to keep eating well and exercising and moving. I think it's really key that I keep trying to do that to improve all aspects of my life, physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, financially. It's a long road, but I'm really kind of pleased about myself and satisfied that I'm taking the right steps. So there we go. That's my little real talk for the week. Like I said, I started out in late February. I was 351.4 pounds. That's a whole lot. I'm really happy to say now that I no longer weigh as much as Shaquille O'Neal. Take that, Shaq. You weigh more than me. Okay, I'm also 5'7" ish, 5'8" maybe on a good day. Shaq is 7'1", but I don't weigh as much as he does. He weighs 324. So that's the good news. I don't weigh as much as Shaq anymore. What I do weigh, it's 322.0 pounds. And that's really exciting. I know I'm still losing kind of slowly but surely. Part of me still wants that 5-pound, 10-pound loss like you see on The Biggest Loser. But that now means I've lost about 29 pounds. So I started at 351.4. Now I'm at 322. So we're looking at 29.4 pounds. Yeah. So that's cool. Almost 30 pounds. I'm really hoping to be out of the 320s the next time we get together for this, because quite frankly, 320s, you're really boring me. It's time that we split. The highlight of the week happened earlier this week on a strange day where I was just getting kind of pounded on Twitter. I kind of got caught up in going back and forth with some people, and I ended up just shutting my computer off, and I told myself I have to get out of here. So I shot a little video of what happened that day. So let's roll that. I was kind of frustrated this afternoon. I was having a rough day on Twitter. Anyway, it doesn't matter why, but got a little bit frustrated, and I have to go to work tonight, and I hadn't exercised yet, so I guess this is a moral victory. Instead of like eating out my frustrations, I decided to go for a walk. It was 97 degrees. It is hot, hot, hot out there. It feels great in this breezy shade, but I walked probably about 1.25 miles, up the hill and down the hill and up another hill and up a street, down a street. I was talking about this. My neighborhood is hilly, and it really makes it a challenge. It felt good to be out there and to just get hot and sweaty. It's been kind of a weird week. I haven't followed my plan as closely as I should. Again, I keep thinking, okay, you're eating pretty good, but then I don't follow my plan to the T, and I don't lose weight. And so I'm going to see what my official weight is tomorrow morning, but when I weighed in this morning, I was up a hair from where I was last week, which just seems insane because I keep staying busy. Yesterday, I hit the 10,000 step mark for the first time. All of a sudden, the Fitbit on my wrist started buzzing, bzz, 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 and I'm like, what is going on? And I looked there, and it looked like there were little fireworks and stuff going off, and it said 10,000 steps, and I got some sneakers award from Fitbit, so yay me. I'm gonna have to say the low light, beside what led to the highlight, came on Friday night. I was hungry, I was running late, I'd been at work all day, and my son was playing lacrosse, and so I got there just in the nick of time to watch him play, and didn't have time to stop and get a good meal, and I didn't pack my food. So my wife had gone and grabbed them some burgers and fries for her and the kids, and Ethan, who was playing lacrosse, didn't eat his burger, and I was super hungry. In Salt Lake City, we have these Greek hamburger restaurants, and they have these huge hamburgers. Boom! Not only do they have like the quarter pounder or a third pounder of meat, but they also give you slices of pastrami, and they just stack that up, and then they put this Thousand Island type dressing, fry sauce we call it here in Utah. So it's a big hamburger with cheese, and I just it was not mine to eat, but I decided to eat it, and I thought, well, I can buy my son another one after the game. And I devoured that, and I devoured his fries. That was not the dieting highlight or success of the week. The good news is I got right back on my diet, and that's how the free meals are supposed to work. It allows you some flexibility. It allows you to eat something that you've been craving, and even if I didn't realize I'd been craving it. And so the next day I ate much better, and I started losing weight again, and I'm off to a really good start for this following week. I'm going to have to say the low light was that big old pastrami hamburger I ate. Although that was a pretty tasty low light, I have to admit. Some of the shout outs I want to give, there's a guy named Charles Blackwood. He started a YouTube channel and is doing a weight loss vlog as well. And he thanked me for inspiring him, and in turn he is inspiring me. So I want to just give a shout out, Charles. He gets called these mean names by his ex-wife, and other people call him a troll and this and that. It's horrible. Charles, you're a strong man. You're going to do this. I'm proud of you. You're kicking butt so far. Like I told you on Twitter the other day, I can't wait to see where we are in a few months or a year, because both of us are on the right track, and we're going to turn our lives around. Neither of us are exactly spring chickens anymore, so it's really critical that we take control of our lives right now while we still have the health to do it. So I'm rooting for you, Charles. Thanks for your support. I've got to thank my friend Maren Baumgartner yet again. Remember that video where I had all those Quest bars? She gave me another sample of Quest nutrition shakes, and this is a peanut butter powder that I've turned into shakes. One night I mixed ice and water, this peanut butter Quest powder, protein powder, and a banana, and it was like a peanut butter and banana shake. It was awesome. Another time I just had a plain peanut butter shake. There are recipes on there for muffins and pancakes and all sorts of other different things you can use this peanut butter protein powder for. Thank you so much, Maren. You're just an awesome friend, and I thoroughly appreciate the support you give me. My last shout out goes to a Twitter follower, a Utah Jazz fan, Ginger Bear. The other day when I was struggling, she came through with a super nice tweet that just made my day. DJ Jazzy Jody, hope this helps a little. You inspired me to start my workouts again, and I'm in my 3rd week and feeling much better. You rock. Ginger, you rock. We rock. We walk and we rock. So thank you for that. I tweeted soon after that, if I could find a way to make a living inspiring people and making myself and others healthy and happy, I would quit sports writing in a heartbeat. I don't know if there's such a job out there or if that opportunity will ever present itself. I'm not looking to quit sports writing. I just thoroughly enjoy helping and inspiring people. And it's just so odd to me that here I am, a 322-pound dude, 5'7", I'm morbidly obese, and just because I'm trying and making it kind of public that other people are being inspired by it, it just really makes my heart warm. And thank you very much for bringing that up, Ginger. It was just what I needed to hear, so I really appreciate it. You rock. that's it for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back next week, week number 13. And I have a feeling some big stuff is going to happen this week because things are starting to roll. My motivation is there. I'm excited. I'm going to listen to that advice my dad gave me. I'm not going to let what happened to him happen to me. I know that somewhere he's pushing for me, pulling for me, rooting for me, helping me, inspiring me, now that I finally got my head out of the buffet. So thank you very much, Dad. And really, guys, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me.